Hey Valley Kids, welcome back to the third video in the percentage trilogy. Tonight we're going to work out finding the whole number given a part of it and an equivalent percentage. But first let's get to the Star Wars trivia question of the day, which is, what was Yoda's full name? And do you have any idea how tall he was? We'll get that answer and much, much more as we move through tonight's lesson. Officially, our target tonight is 7.2c. I can determine the whole number given a stated percentage and a numerical equivalent of that percentage. Let's do this thing. All right, tonight we're going to talk about Cody and his hockey stick. Cody has saved 40% of the money he needs for a new hockey stick. He has $50 in his Stanley Cup piggy bank. How much does the hockey stick cost? All right, well, we're going to use the box again. So we know that he's got $50 of some number, and we know that that's equivalent to 40%. So 50% is the part, and we're missing the whole. So we'll just pop out our calculator here, and of course we know that 50 times 100, we can just add two zeros on and get 5,000. And then we're going to divide that by the third number. Divide by 40. And we get 125. Well, let's pop it in and see if it makes sense. Well, 50% of 100 is 50, or 50% of 125 would be about 62. So 40% equaling 50? Yeah, that makes sense. We also knew that this cross product was 5,000. So I can double check it also by saying 125 times 40, and I should get 5,000 if I have the right answer. And of course I do, because I've made the video 3 times and I keep screwing up. All right, let's see if I can make it through this time. All right, some vocabulary review. First of all, percent proportion. Don't forget that you've got a fraction on one side, a numerator and a denominator, which represent the part and the whole. And then the other side is a percent which is equivalent to that. For instance, we have 1/2, and we know that that is 50% of 100, or 50 out of 100. Also know that it's proportional. 1 times 50 is 50. 2 times 50 is 100. Whatever you do to the top, that's right, you do to the bottom. Also know that those cross products will be the same because they're equivalent fractions. And that's the way we'll practice checking tonight, as well as oftentimes just answering the question, does it make sense? All right, we need to find the whole tonight, so that'll be in this bottom position. We'll have the part and we'll have the percentage. Questions are going to look like this. 25% of a certain number is 15. What is that number? 25% of what number is 15? Find a number so that 25% of it is 15, or something very similar. Before we get to that tonight, I want to just review what we've learned so far about the box. The box, use the box, Luke. The box is beautiful. I've taken all the symbols out of it, but you just have to remember that the first step in the box is to multiply diagonal. You're always going to have 2 numbers. Plus the 100 is 3, so you always will be able to multiply diagonal. So first of all, multiply the 2 numbers that are diagonal from each other, either going this direction or this direction. And then take that product, whatever it equals, and divide it by the top number or the third number, whichever that is. All right, so first multiply the numbers that are diagonal, divide by the third number. Those are the basic rules. All right, let's try a problem tonight and see who our guest presenter is. Oh, it's Master Yoda. What does Yoda got to say?
Use the box and the Jedi you will be.
Oh, thank you, Master Yoda. That's profound. I may use that. All right. 25% of a certain number is 32. So let's plug our numbers into the box. We got 25%, and we know that that part is equivalent to 32. So I'm going to shortcut a little bit here. I know that 32 times 100, I can just add those zeros. So let's just put in 3,200. And I have to divide by the third number, and in this case, it's on top of that, but that's okay. Divide by 25, and that equals 128. Well, let's pop that back in and just see if it makes sense. It kind of looks right, because I know that half of 128 would be 64, and this is a quarter, so half of 64 is 32, so yeah, it makes total sense. I can also check the cross products, and we'll practice that on the next problem. All right, the next problem. 60% of what number is 15? Let's see.
use the box and the Jedi you will be.
That's right. All right, so we know 60%. Let's pop that into the percent. And then 15. That's the part. So once again, I know that 15 times 100 is just going to be 1500. So I'm just going to pop 1500 in and shorten up my work a little bit. And I'm going to divide that by the third number, which is 60%. Divide by 60, and I get 25. Well, let's just grab 25 here and put it in. Remembering that this is 1500, I can also just then multiply those cross products. I'll do the other one, 25 times 60. And I get 1500. So I got 1500 both ways. I know that that is correct. Okay, let's try another one. Let's see. Find a number so that 80% of it is 120. All right, so 80%, I'll put that in. And my 120, I'll put right there, the part. So, once again, 120 times 100 is just going to be 120 plus 2 more zeros, or 12,000. I just wanted to make sure I had 3 zeros there. And then I'm going to divide it by the third number, which is 80. Divide by 80. And I get 150. So let me grab 150 and pop it in there. The ratios look right, but this was 12,000, correct? So let's just multiply the other cross product and make sure that works. 150 times 80 equals 12,000. Beautiful, my answer is right. All right, time for you to try some. Yoda, what advice do you have?
Use the box and the Jedi you will be.
All right, go for it. All right, let's see what you did here. So I know that 20% of some number is 15. So I set it up. So here I've got my 1500. So 15 times 100 is 1500. So I got 1500, and I'm going to divide that by 20, and I get 75. So far I'm looking right. Let's just take a peek here. Let's see if that makes sense. Well, I know that 20% is 1/5. And so this would be 1/5 of 75. 5 times 15 is 75. I also can do the cross products and check too. But we are spot on. Good job. All right, here's your next problem. Go ahead, Master Yoda.
Use the box and the Jedi you will be.
Okay, let's see how you did. Ew. Ew. There we go. We got 44%. 44% of a number that we don't know. And that part of it is 55. So 55 of some number is 44%. So let's get the old calculator out again. And we got 55 times 100, so that's just going to be 55 and then 100. And we're going to divide that by 44%. Divide by 44 is 125. And let's put that guy in. It looks right, you know, but it's kind of a lot. So I'm just going to do the cross products this time. 55 times 100, of course, is 5,500. So let's just clear this out and go 125 then times 44. And that's 5,500 too. So good job. You got that one correct. All right. One more problem for you to try. Master Yoda?
Use the box and the Jedi you will be.
Let's see how you did. 120%. That was a nasty one. 120% of a certain number is 72. Will this work? And guess what? Did you notice that on the last two problems I took out your arrows? I bet you still did it right. You multiply those two cross products. So the diagonal numbers are 72 and 100. So that's just going to be 7,200. And I'm going to divide that by 120. 120. Now that's more than 100%. And I got 60. So I've got an improper fraction, but I've got an improper fraction over here too. And I knew that this was 7,200, so just to make sure, let's just check the cross products. I've already got 60 in there. If I take that times 120, I get 7,200, which is the same thing here. Congratulations. It works for percentages greater than 100 too. So use the box. Why? Why?
Use the box and the Jedi you will be.
You've got it, Yoda. Thanks. All right, here's your ticket for the show. Go ahead and write that down. 15% of a number is 9. 25% of this number is 17. Two different problems. All right, our ticket. What was Yoda's full name and height? Actually, his full name was Minch Yoda, and he was 66 centimeters, or if we think back just to last chapter, 66 centimeters is 0.66 of a meter. Thanks for watching tonight. I hope you enjoyed the Star Wars trilogy and learn how to use the box, Luke. Use the box.